In this video, we are going to be discussing the Traxxas TRX-4 Bronco versus the Redcat Gen8 Axe Edition. So I figured we'd do this because these are both big trucks, big bodies, as you can see on both of them, and they both have portal axles in there. So we are going to go over both of the trucks, what they both have as far as positives and negatives, and some of the similarities and the differences in these two rigs. But I figured that these are two really popular trucks, and seeing how they both have portal axles and have bigger bodies, I figured they'd be a perfect match, as in a lot of people probably want to know what is going on with these two trucks. So we'll start with the TRX-4 first. We'll pop the body off and we'll give you a little bit closer look. Okay, so before we pop the body off, I just want to show a couple of things. You can see here we got the Bronco body, very scale looking, has nice scale bumpers front and rear, comes with these nice chrome wheels with the caps on them, looks really good, and overall the body is pretty decent. Still uses body clips, we'll get into that a little bit later. Has a little bit of scale goodies with the wipers and the mirrors on it, and it just looks really good, and it's definitely impressive when it's out on the trail. Okay, so here is the layout. You have your 21 turn Titan 550 can with the XL5HV ESC, and here is where you put your battery right in the center. But what I like about this particular TRX-4 model is you have the little tray up front, so if you have a smaller battery, you can go ahead and put one of those up front and add a little bit of more weight to it. So if you're unfamiliar with the TRX-4 platform, it is a 2-speed truck, and it has locking and unlocking diffs. So you have your little mini servos right here, and it does add a little bit of complication to your rig, but that depends on what you are going to do with the truck. Some people really like the unlocking and locking diffs because you can unlock them and do a little bit bashing around, and with the 2-speed, you know, that gives you the speed to do that, which is nice. I go back and forth on how I feel about it. I do like it and I do enjoy it, but also it is the only truck I have that has that, and I have had a couple of problems with it. These mini servos do go out. So going over some of the technical specs, we do have a normal 313 millimeter wheelbase. You do have a pretty big truck overall. It's 21 inches long, bumper to bumper, and that is to say a little bit larger than some of the other vehicles, but it's not as big as the Redcat, and we'll go into the specs on the Redcat when we get to it. But you can see here the portal axles. One thing about the Traxxas is it is definitely really well built, and it's been out for a while, so we do know the durability. And you see some people run 6S through this truck and it handles it no problem. You got all nice metal links with the really nice end link design on here. It has a really great steering angle, and it does turn really well. That is one thing I will say about this truck. And also another good point are the shocks in there. They are all aluminum bodied with the adjustable collars. They don't really leak very much. I've had really good luck with them. So you can see just the layout of the truck, and it's definitely tried and true. Really like the TRX-4 platform. Okay, so here is the Gen 8, and I did actually not realize how big this truck was until I started doing some measurements. So I put the back bumper up against the wall, that's how I did these, and then measured with a nice ruler from the front, and this truck comes in at 22.5 inches longer. So it is quite a bit bigger, and these bigger trucks, you got to remember, if you're going for all-out scale performance, these particular kind of bodies are not the best for ultimate performance, even though it looks really good. It's definitely not, you know, the best performance that you can get, but it all depends on your goals. So a few things that I really like about this body over the TRX4 is it does come with a pretty nice interior. The seats aren't the greatest, and the steering wheel is kind of in a funky spot, which if you put any figures in there, the wheel doesn't even come close to their hands. But some people are printing parts to extend the wheel, which isn't really a problem, so you can kind of fix that, which I really like. And another thing, when you get this body, it doesn't come with these stickers on it. They give you 3 different color schemes, which is nice, and you can also choose from different interior pieces, so you can kind of customize it to your own liking, whereas the Traxxas, how it comes is how it comes. You can't do anything different out of the box other than the few supplied Traxxas stickers. So that is just a little nice touch I like on the body. It comes with these kind of bulky fenders, and in here is not trimmed, but you know, it doesn't really seem to do anything on the performance end. And you know, it's got the nice molded grill as well, and light buckets that are ready for Redcat's lights. And another thing I like is no body pins. It comes with this nice Velcro, or hook and loop, whatever you want to call it, and it does seem to be a little bit better than the first generation. I guess people said they used something stronger. I have had no issues with it, and I will keep using it. Okay, so that is the difference in the bodies, and now we will get to the truck itself. So what makes this Axe truck really good is the value you're getting. So the Bronco is about $450 I paid for mine, and for $500 on this Redcat, you get this really great hobby wing system with the 2300 kV brushless motor, and then the servo is the Reefs 4.4, which has over 400 inches of torque, and it is just a monster out there. And the servo itself is really great. It's quiet and it performs really well. You can kind of see here the layout is relatively the same. You got this forward motor design, and it's got no 2-speed, just a single speed, so it's a little bit more crawling focused, and you know, you don't have the complications of the locking and unlocking servos. So that is something that I really like about it. It does have nice metal bodied shocks, and it also has the inner fenders as well, which are really nice, with the fenders that are in the body and the fenders on the truck. Everything mounts up, and it really keeps the inside of the truck really clean, which is something I like. And it again has all metal links underneath, and the drive shaft itself is plastic, but it has like metal yokes, which are good. The axles provide plenty of clearance, and the only thing I don't like is the pumpkin here has quite a bit more of a bump to it than the Traxxas, so that part right there kind of kills the performance a little bit. But well, not performance I'd say, but the ground clearance is just quite not, you know, as good, because it just sticks down just a little bit more, but the portals do provide that little bit of extra clearance. The only thing on this truck that I'm kind of concerned about is the durability with the portals. I have not opened them up and checked the gears or anything, and I haven't heard too many people breaking anything in them yet. They did do a few redesigns. It has all metal gears, I guess, in there and everything, and they did get rid of that bump as well. So they did revise the Axe edition over the regular Gen 8, so you can't compare everything on this truck to the original Gen 8. They definitely stepped it up and did a few more things on this truck. So one thing you've probably noticed is I do not have the stock tires on the Gen 8. I have these SSD wheels with some Pitbull Rock Beasts on there, because the stock Gen 8 tires are not so good. It does come with a beadlock wheel, which is nice, so you can go ahead and maybe put some different foams in there, because the foams are not so great. And I can't really speak to the tire because I only ran them one time and I didn't really like them. So I just had wheels and tires galore. So I always swap those out anyway. But with the Traxxas, the tires are actually kind of overlooked at how good they really are. You can cut the little sipes off. It's hard because I cut all of mine off. But you can look at some of the Traxxas tire mod videos. If I find one, I will put a link to it in the description. But you cut those things off and it vastly improves these tires, and the foams hold up really good. So the tires are definitely worth keeping on this truck, whereas I think with the Redcat you probably want to switch to something different if you're going for better performance. So that is something that is very positive on the TRX4 that you would get over the Redcat. One thing on the TRX4 that is definitely a huge problem is the steering servo is not good at all. So this is an Eco Power servo I have in here because the stock Traxxas 2075X Metal Gear servo is just notorious for going out. Now Traxxas support is really good. They will send you anything you need. If you send them the old part, usually is all they want, but it's such a bad servo, it's just gonna break again. I always recommend upgrading the servo. So that is the main part between these two trucks, which if you had to go based on value alone, you can't beat this Redcat. With the ESC and servo alone are worth, let's see, it's about a $200 system for the motor and ESC. I'm not sure what that reef servo goes for, but that's basically pretty close to what a TRX4 Sport would cost. A TRX4 Sport is $330, and you don't have any high-end stuff. So it's just like you could buy this truck and drive it and take this motor and system and and servo rather out and use it in something else, and you're still not really out that much money. The value of this Redcat is really good. I've been driving it and I seem to really like it. The system is really smooth and offers really good driving experience. So it's just like, you know, it's just one of those things if you want to kind of, you know, go with a brand that's maybe not quite as established as, say, your Traxxas, but as I've been driving it, I've been more and more impressed. And although the body is big, it does offer, you know, a lot of good realism, and it does look really good on the trail. You know, it's not going to perform as well as, you know, like a truck with a cage setup or anything like that, but, you know, as far as trail truck goes, you know, you can definitely, you know, get your money's worth out of the truck. A lot of the stuff between rigs like this, it's more of a preference. I'm not going to say one truck is better than the other or anything like that. Both trucks are very solid. The thing is, for me, is value and what you're going to get out of them. You know, this Bronco is $450. It doesn't have an interior. If you want an interior, you can print out some night custom stuff. If you don't have a printer, it can be costly. If you do have a printer, you can just print out the interior. It sits in the body really nicely, and, you know, that is an option. It is there. There's tons of aftermarketability for this truck, and I'm sure there will be, you know, some more stuff coming out for the Gen 8 as time goes on. So it's kind of a toss-up, but we'll go ahead and we will crawl both of these trucks, and you guys can see how they crawl, and let me know what you guys think about it and what one you would get. All right, so these are the radios. That is something I forgot to mention about both these trucks that adds actually even more to the value of the Redcat, as it comes with this really nice Fly Sky radio. Never had one of these before. I had heard good things, and for good reason. It's got this nice little fold-up antenna. You got steering and throttle trims right here. You can adjust endpoints, and it just feels super good in the hand. I was like super impressed by this radio. The size is great. So I use a DX5 Rugged, and it's kind of big and bulky with the way the top piece is. This thing just doesn't have that. The size of it's great. My hand fits around it really nice. You know, I don't have giant hands, so it's just feels really good. The foam on the wheel is nice, and, you know, you got all your adjustability on there, and I think this is a really overlooked part. So between the motor and everything, plus with this radio, it just adds even more value to this Redcat. It's just, I mean, it's just really a phenomenal value for everything that you get. So moving on to the Traxxas radio now, I've always actually been a fan of these radios until I started trying other radios. It does have the foam wheel, and it does feel good in the hand. You got your switch for your lockers, but you don't really have any programmability. You do have throttle and steering trim here, quick, which I always like the trim for the steering on a knob real quick. You can just adjust as you need. But if you got to do any programming, if your throttle gets reversed or anything like that, you got these two buttons here, and if you're not really patient or familiar with it, it does take some time. And I believe with the link here, you can put the Bluetooth module. You can probably do all that stuff, but as far as what you get out of the box, just trying to program with these two buttons can be a pain. So they're not the worst ready to run radios. I do like the feel, but a lot of it is, I've had a lot of Traxxas vehicles, so I've been used to the Traxxas. But when you get this Redcat, like, you grab this radio and it feels just great. I can't emphasize enough how good the radio is in the Redcat. All right, so I got my Weighmaster here, and this is just a fish scale, and we're just gonna get the weight of these rigs. So let's see how much we got. And it's up. Alrighty, we have 7.44 pounds for the Redcat. Not bad. All right, let's see what the TRX-4 weighs.
Okay.
All right, so we have 6.7 for the TRX-4. So the TRX-4 is just a little bit lighter. All right. Good workout. All right, so I'm going to set up some tennis balls here as some markers in this little rock area, and we'll just crawl each truck and we'll just give a little bit of an impression. So I'm going to go set these up and find a couple of lines. Now I have been scouting this spot, so I kind of know how each truck goes, and we'll just kind of show you what each truck is capable of. All right, so we are going to crawl both trucks. I'm going to start with the Bronco first. And to make this test fair, I went ahead and I put the Pitbull Rock Beast on here, so each truck will have the same wheel and tire setup. I got about 11 or 10 gates here, and I'm gonna lock the diffs like so, and we're gonna make sure we're in first gear, so the test is pretty accurate. Now, this isn't any crazy crawling, but I figured you guys can just kind of see what each truck does, and I'll just talk a little bit of the feel as we go. All right, so here we go. Now, the brushed motor of the Traxxas is pretty smooth. Definitely not as low of a startup rather as the Redcat, but overall it is pretty smooth. I won't lie, for an RTR system it is pretty decent. So I'm just gonna come through here. The truck is pretty stable, doesn't have any issues. Now, the thing is I do have an aftermarket servo in here because, like I said, the stock Traxxas servo is only got 125 inches of torque, so it is not a powerhouse. It is probably the first upgrade you'll want to do. So you can see, as long as the tires are touching, this thing goes right up through our gate. It's got decent side hilling. You can see the stability here. So now we'll go up this little section here. No problem. And we're just gonna come through here. And so far, none of these lines are too killer on the bumpers, but these bigger body trucks for sure have their drawbacks. So in first gear, also the ESC has like 4 different modes. You got trail mode, race mode, training mode, and full on crawl mode. And once you're in crawl mode, you get the drag brake, which is definitely not as good as the Redcat again. So again, nice and smooth. And here's kind of our first big little obstacle we got here. I said big little, that's kind of weird, but so you can see here, fighting for some traction. So the back pumpkin's hung up on this wheel, so you can see the approach angle here on this rock, trying to get the tire on there, and now the bumper's kind of getting hung up. And back up, I'm gonna have to re-navigate. So I'm gonna go to the right a little bit more to get over that rock. There we go. So you got to keep your tires up. And okay, now I can get on there. And you can see we're kind of bellied up. So gonna just give it a little throttle and get the tires on, get a little traction, and boom, you're over. Not bad. So we'll just continue going here. So I will demonstrate something that's cool. So the next gate, we're gonna have to navigate up. So I'll hit my switch, unlock my diffs, and bump it into second gear. Okay, so now we're in second gear and I can, truck's got good power. So that is something to consider, what kind of driving you're gonna do if you want a 2-speed or, single speed with full lock diffs. So now I lock my diffs again and drop it back in to gear. Now that was a short distance, but if you're trailing, the second speed is nice. I go back and forth on how I feel about it. So here we are again. It's all about getting those tires up and boom, right through. Really good flex on the TRX4. Does good. Portal axles do deliver some good ground clearance for these kind of rocks. You can hear that bumper hitting there. And let's try to get out of this. Oh, you can hear the body. Boom, and that's it. Down and out. Okay. So, and here we go. And we're gonna have to navigate through these gates here. Some good flex. And oh yeah, there she goes. Okay, so this one is pretty challenging here. You have to try to get on there with your front tires. So you have to get the right angle to get your tire up. Yeah, see, there you go. Now you can get your tire up and you get a little belly going and definitely a little stuck. My bumpers are hanging up. So now that I got the front on, look at that flex. Looks pretty good in there. So to get over, I'm definitely gonna have to goose it a little bit, a little extra throttle to bump it and get the tires on. Once you get the tires on, good to go. The overall feel is a little different compared to other crawlers. I'm not sure if it's the portal axles or not, but the TRX4 definitely has its own little feel of driving. Not bad. It's not a complaint. It's just has a different feel to it. So you can see how good it looks. The Bronco body looks really good out on the trail. It's just a good looking truck. So flexing through here. See, that's not what I wanted to do, but we got through, and I'll just make a couple turns here to get through this next gate. So this is a little bit more technical section, and all right, not too bad. We are through. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Got a little hung up on the belly, so I'm gonna try to get over a little bit. There we go. Keep those tires going. It's all about keeping those tires on the contact of the rocks. So up we go. So far it hasn't really been any struggling. I'm just trying to show you and talk to you about how the truck feels and let you see how it looks when it's crawling up and over that like nothing. Flexing through some of this stuff here. Oh, we're on the side a little bit. And back up. There we go. I needed some power. Okay, so we're probably gonna get a little bellied here, so I'll give it a little throttle. Oh, we're pulling up high. That back wheel is stuck. And we're through. Just needed a little bit of power. I'm gonna get through this gate here. This one's a little challenging with this pointy rock. Keep it to the right. There we go. So, oh, we're bellied up. I can't go forward or back. Gonna need an assist. So here is a section, pay attention, that we're stuck, and we'll see how the Redcat does. So just a little bump from my foot. That's all we needed. Continue up through this bumpy rock bed. Even a little snow on this one. So we'll just keep going. We'll increase our speed just a little bit to get to the next gate. It milds out a little bit. Oh, collecting pine cones. Okay, we're coming up to our last gate, and oh, we made it through. We're a little stuck right there. Not too bad. Okay, so there's a little stick here. I just got to get on the inside of it. Okay. So getting up on this rock here can be a little challenging. And there we are. Okay. So that completes the course for the TRX-4 Bronco. Did pretty good. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of that little run. All right, so something I did forget to mention is the overall length, bumper to bumper, is longer, but that is because this truck has the 324 millimeter wheelbase as well, so it is as long as the regular TRX-4 Defender, which makes it, you know, a little bit bigger, and I do think that the shorter wheelbase and shorter overall length adds in performance. So that is just another little thought to think about when it comes to the Redcat. All right, so here we go. So you can see, I mean, right here I'm barely touching the trigger, and it's just so smooth with that hobby wing system. Now, I know some people don't like it, but so far I've been a big fan of this system, and I want to try the 550 can for some more juice. Not that I feel this doesn't have enough power, but I would really like to try that 550 can out. So here we go. You can see, nice and stable, no problems. Here we go. Get up on these rocks here, no problem. Nice and stable. And then you can hear the servos really nice and quiet. Oh, getting a little squirrely. Truck does have good side hilling. Boom, plops down. Here we go. And up we go. So nice and smooth. Now we're going to come through this little section. And this is where I did the 2-speed last time. So we don't have that, but I'll show you some full throttle here. It's almost full throttle. So, I mean, I feel it does have enough speed. Now you also want to keep in mind this truck is a little bit louder with the all metal Mod 1 gears inside. So now here's where we got hung up last time, and I had to get over to the right a little bit to get through. So let me back up again, and there we go. Now we'll get up and over this section. You can hear the body hitting a little bit. Oh, we're bellied up. And that pumpkin again is hitting. There we go. So we're not quite as smooth as the Traxxas through this section, but we were able to make it. So one thing I do like is I don't have a driver in there now, but you know, you can do some nice scale shots with the driver in there, and the slow speed, you know, you can just really scale crawl up over everything, which is nice. Some poop, let me navigate around that. Okay, so here we come up to this section here. See how it does. The tires on, and we're over it. So with this truck, you're gonna have a lot of bumper banging because of the length. So that again is something to keep in mind. It is a slightly bigger truck than your regular 313 millimeter wheelbase vehicles. So I did that section really nice. Here we go through here. We're gonna stay in between these rocks. Ooh, a little hung up. Ooh, nice, but we made it. Again, the servo is smooth and quiet. It's really nice. So, gotta stay this way here. See now, I don't know if it's a longer wheelbase, but my tire is able to get right up on there and able to get over that just a little bit better than the Traxxas there in that kind of climb. So, another point too I forgot to mention is, let me get over this. Whoa. Just get back in there. Okay, so another point I forgot to mention is I did tuck the bumpers in compared to what they come at stock because they stick way too much out. So you can do just a tiny bit of body trimming and you can tuck those bumpers in and save yourself some space for sure. Alright, so come through here, getting up a little bit, and a little stuck on the belly, not too bad. Right through. Oh yeah. I'm just really in love with the smoothness of the system. I can't say it enough. It's just something about the feel it gives you that I really like. So far, it's doing everything the Traxxas is able to do, with maybe just a couple minor hiccups. This is where we got stuck, I believe, last time.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have to give it the old little foot. It got bellied up here. So. Okay, 2 foot bumps to get through this section. I think that pumpkin is definitely causing us some problems. Those pointy rocks sticking up. This is kind of rather intense spot here as far as, you know, crawling big rocks. Okay, yeah. Okay. To reassess how to get through this here. Hold on. Okay, so didn't do it as smooth as the Traxxas right there, as you can see. Definitely had a few hiccups in that one little section. So we're coming down to the home stretch. We got one more gate to do. Through this little section. Ooh, almost got stuck on the belly again. Okay. So again, I think it's the length and the big body that things are just getting hung up on just a little bit extra. So here we go. I'm on the inside of the branch. Get the tires up. Good angle here. See, the body's getting hung up and it's pulling me over. And we're not going to clear the gate. Let's see. So I could get it, but I would bounce outside the gate. I think I'm, oh, there we go. I'm off the stick. Okay. I think the stick I was stuck on a little bit. So there we are, all finished. So I definitely would say the Redcat, smooth, great steering, but maybe the body is a little bit of a hindrance and a cause for concern. You know, it seems to get hung up a little bit more on some of the obstacles. All right, so there you have it. You got to see, you know, all the information on the trucks, and you got to see how they crawled. I think that the Redcat overall feels better. It's a better value, but as far as straight performance out of the box, I think the TRX4 with the slightly smaller body, no overhang or anything like that, is going to give you just a little bit better performance. I wouldn't say that if you like the body on the Redcat better and you like the Axe system, that, like, you know, you wouldn't get it because of that. But, you know, it's a toss-up. I like a lot of things about the Redcat. I like the fact that they give you the stickers. You got an interior. You don't get a choice of stickers or anything like that. You can pick between the colors. This is the Sunburst, and then they have the straight red on the Traxxas. But as far as you know, you can only get one or the other. You can't really customize it. So that is like on the Redcat, you get that choice in the box, which is nice. So if you get sick of one color, you could peel it off and swap to the red or whatever you wanted. So that's just a nice little touch. You can't beat the radio. It's just, I don't know, I've been pretty fascinated with it. Plus it comes with the soft top. I forgot to show you that. I brought it. So it comes with the soft top here. You just pop out these two screws, and it's got some Velcro, and, you know, it's just something else if you want to switch up the look. So that goes on like that. And then you got that look, which is nice. You know, it's got some different options. And also, you know, I'm really not into the body clips anymore. It's really nice to have that hook and loop. So, I mean, I'm not going to say what one I would buy. I'm lucky enough to have both of them. I had the Bronco for a while, and I got the Redcat when it came out for my wife because she had wanted something new, and I thought that it'd be a great truck to try. And, you know, I was thoroughly impressed. It did impress me, and the only thing I'm concerned about is long-term durability. So we'll have to see how it holds up. But yeah, that is gonna wrap it up for the video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.